Okay, we're back for part 6. So after Tiamat, we need to start gathering more money and LP. When now we have access to the spell called Fyra, which is used to farm Jellies. So the last of Dustia Gil is really, or all the Dustia Gil is pointed at towards this point of the run, where you need enough money to get everything we have gotten this far, and then Fyra. So first up is doing a menu where we remove all the equipment we don't need anymore, and so that we can sell it for more money. And so remove Vaughn and Belfier from the party, because from now on Bosch, Ash, and Penelope is gonna be the main party. And those will be the ones that will get leveled up. So that's why we use those 3 for the farm. So equipment, we can remove all of Vaughn's equipment. So that gets rid of Vaughn's flame staff and the shield armor and the leather cap, all of which will be equipped on other characters. So then optimize Penelo, Ash, and Bosch. So Penelo gets the flame staff. Ash also gets a flame staff and the leather cap that was previously on Vaughn. And Bosch gets the shielded armor. And then we want to remove Bosch's Cypress Pole, Bronze Helm, and Black Belt in order to sell those 3 items. And then sell Balfier's, or remove everything from Balfier to be sold. And you have to optimize Ash before you remove all of Balfier's equipment, or otherwise Ash will get equipped with the Bronze Helm and Bronze Armor. Same goes for Bosch. You have to optimize Ash before Bosch, because otherwise Ash will get Bosch's Bronze Armor, or the Bronze Helm if you remove that. But yeah. But yeah, it's important because you want Ash to have the light woven shirt for a little bit more magic, because Ash can't quite one-hit Jellies without that little extra magic. And the Bronze Helm you just want to sell. So yeah, then sell the Cypress Poles that are not needed anymore now that Tiamat is dead. You can sell the leather clothing, it's 50 gil, whatever, but it's 1 extra smelling salt. Then both Bronze Helm and Bronze Armor. Then the Black Belt. And if you stole Ringworm Scale from Tiamat, sell that too. Or if you happen to kill the bats with Traveler and picked up their loot, or if you somehow got any other items you need to sell. Either way, you need 3000 gil for Fyra. And if you have more than like 8.5k, or actually no, you should just buy Fyra first, and then if you have now more than 4.5k, so total of 7.5k, you can buy a golden amulet here. But if you are really tight, like if you have let's say you have 4.7k or something, that means that if you buy a golden amulet, you will not be able to afford any Phoenix Downs. So And the Golden Amulet, it's not that important. Like, yeah, more LP is nice, but it's not gonna be on for that long. And Jellies are dangerous, so you want to have at least some Phoenix Downs. I would recommend having 5 Phoenix Downs minimum, and even 5 is not always enough. I died at Jellies with 9 Phoenix Downs recently, so... But yeah, I didn't have 4.5k, so it was a no-brainer for me to go out for Phoenix Downs. And I usually buy as many Phoenix Downs as I can, -1. And that is so that I can guarantee myself getting at least 4... at least 5 smelling salts. So I had enough I had enough money for 8 smelling salts. And that's nice because that means that most likely I don't have to buy any smelling. I don't have to waste time buying more smelling salts between Jellies 1 and Jellies 2. So gambits, Jelly farming gambits is Jellies are gonna be killed by casting Fyra straight at them. So the gambit is gonna be foe nearest visible on Fyra. A little mistake there. And yeah, that should be on, and the other gambits should be off, and the same gambit for Ashe. Except that for Ashe already has the foe nearest visible attack, so you can just turn that gambit into a foe nearest visible Fyra. As for Bosch, you want to remove the first gambit by pressing select, and then ally any and smelling salts. And then foe nearest visible steal for a little bit, to get a little bit more money. So the role of the Bosch is to be a tank. And while you're killing Jellies, Bosch is gonna run around and stealing from the Jellies. And then you teleport to the Henne Mines. And that's why it was very important that you touch the teleport crystal before Tiamat. Yeah, I'm gonna go to do the first couple of rooms with normal speed, and then I'm gonna speed it up. And maybe slow it down if something interesting happens. So, Jellies, what you do, you first need to go a little bit around here, because the other way is blocked. So you have to take a little bit of a long way to reach the Jelly room. And how it works is, Jellies... There's a random amount of Jellies that spawn, and spawn when you hit the switch, and that number is usually around 15. It can be as low as 9, I think, and it can be as high as like 24. I believe it's the biggest room I've seen. But yeah, you have to touch the switch. So generally you want to have Bosch and Penelope's gambits on, and then once Penelope's first Fyra has reached about halfway point, then turn on Ashe's gambits. And in the first room, you want to avoid picking drops, because picking up drops affects the chain level. So if you avoid drops, you will get chain levels faster. Getting first chain level at 10 is really unlucky, so that I was not happy with that, and the first Jelly room doesn't look that promising now. So Penelope has the license called Headsman. Also, by the way, if you didn't kill the Demon Wall 1, you should license Fyra or Black Magic 3 for both Ashe and Penelope after buying the Fyra spell. Or before, it doesn't really matter. But after is slightly faster. But yeah, but Penelope has the Headsman, and Headsman gives her MP back for every Jelly he kills or she kills. And Ashe does not have not have that gambit or license. So you can see that Ash's MP is already way lower than Penelo's. And Ash's MP is a bit of a problem in Jellies one. So 16 kills, and I was only in the blue chain level. Whenever I'm at the blue chain level or lower, well, you really never are lower than the blue chain level. But if you are on the blue chain level after finishing the first room, I recommend not picking up the drops. So just don't pick them up, and then leave whichever way is open, because the switch. So in the Jellies you go and do a room and then leave the other way. This way is actually a little bit longer than the other one, but it takes time to use the switch again. But even then, the other way would maybe be a little bit faster, but it's also way more dangerous. And also, it's not always even faster, because if you go back, the first dino is blocking your way, for example, and the dino's like blocking your way anyway, so if that happens, it's slower. So it's better to just go every other time you go the other way, and every other time you go the other way. So again, you want to, after you touch the switch, you want to run like backwards a little bit, and you want to have the camera on the Jellies, because the gambit is foe nearest visible, and that means that the Jellies need to be on the screen for the gambits to actually activate. And you want to always to have Penelo cast Fyra first, and so turn off Ash's gambit and then turn it back on once Penelo's ATB charge is near full. And the reason why we do this is that it's so that Penelo and Ash will target different Jellies, and that will make it faster, and it will make it a little bit more safer. Also, reasons why you turn off Ash's and not Penelo's gambits, there are multiple. First of all, Penelo has more magic, so she can kill more Jellies. Ash's kills are damage rolls, at first at least, until she gets a couple of levels. And Penelo's might be as well, but they're less of a damage roll. Second, Penelo has better armor, and so at the start of the room, Penelo will get more aggro. So that means that she will be hit more, or whoever is the first caster will get hit more. And Penelo is more durable, so you want her to be taking the hits because she has better chance of surviving. And 3, Penelo has the headsman, so it's better for her to be the first one casting, so she will be consuming more MP because she will get more back. And yeah. Also, doing it this way, you want to run with Bosch away from Penelo, so the Penelo and Ash get spread out a little bit. Jellies have a move called Phantasmal Gaze. I will talk about it more when it happens. I'm pretty sure it will happen. But for that reason, you want to have your party as spread out as possible. And yeah, with Bosch you should be stealing. And there I get a chain level. When you get this chain level, you can start picking up drops. But if it happens on the second room, like if you didn't pick up any drops in the first room, you should wait until you get the highest chain level, which is the red chain level, and before you start picking up drops. But if you already picked up drops in the first room, then also pick up the drops in the second room, because at that point you are not likely to get the chain level anyway. But yeah, here now that I got the chain level, it's very nice that the items will start giving me chain bonuses. Like you can see it here, giving us all protect, giving us all HP back, MP back. The MP is really nice for Ashe because you can see she's already short on MP. And yeah. And the HP heals are nice, protect is nice. Also you can get Shell, but Shell, well, I guess it protects you from poison. Yeah, here are the dinos, so they deal a lot of damage, a lot more than the bats do. But yeah, you need to go 2 zones away and then go back. And here you can see an example. Well, that was only a small example of a dino blocking, but it was there. And here you can see that I've been wanting to talk about this, but now is the first time it actually happened. So now Bosch is on less than 50% HP, which means that Larsa will throw a high potion at him. And that is nice because it's nice to enter this room with Larsa having to throw a high potion on Bosch. Or an X potion. Because that way Larsa will stay behind and will be separated in case of a phantasmal gaze. So typically the first and second room are worse than the rest of the rooms. And so rest of the rooms are about 15 yellow liquids and 15 Jellies. That's like what I go with. Like all rooms are about 15 Jellies, but the later rooms are usually about 15 yellow liquids. Sometimes you get horrible luck and you get like less than 10 yellow liquids. Sometimes you get very good luck and get like 30. Well, 30 would be a god room, but 20 you get somewhat often, and 25 is like a very amazing room. But yeah, the goal of Jellies 1 is to get enough LP that Ashe and Penelo can both afford golden amulets. And you also want to get enough money that you can buy everything in the next shop, which is about 40 yellow liquids if you had no money. If you had no extra money from the Stia 1. And here you can see the Jellies went really ham on Penelo, but Penelo survived because she has a little bit more defense than Ashe does. So here you can see a teleport stone drop. You have to also make sure that you get at least 2 teleport stones if you did not go to the clan hall. If you went to the clan hall, you get 2 teleport stones from there, but you cannot leave Jellies if you don't have at least 2 teleport stones. If you did not go to the clan hall. You usually get them, but there have been times where it has taken me too long to get the 2 teleport stones. Also, the other drops are yellow liquids. Yellow liquids sell for 531 gil each. And that's like So in Jellies 1 you want 40 of them, and that's about 20,000 gil, plus the big amount of water magicite you get. The water magicite is less valuable, and especially on Jellies 2, where we do more Jellies, you get more. But yeah, here you can see the LP requirement. So the LP requirement is it's 95 LP for Penelo and 85 LP for Ash. So yeah, you want to license the golden amulet, and you want to get the quickening here for Penelo, because that's cheaper way than Penelo does not have accessories for, which is something we got on Leviathan for Ash. Penelo does not have that, so it's less LP for Penelo to go through the quickening, and Ash can take these two. So Ash needs 85, Penelo needs 95, and Penelo gets the first quickening, which is at the moment irrelevant, but will be important later. After you have enough LP, you can easily track them because you have the chain, so you can just figure out how much you need. Typically, if you don't kill Demon Wall 1, you have to do 1 or 2 more rooms. Like, I think typical room amount is 5 for Jellies 1 if you killed the Demon Wall 1. Or if you did not kill Demon Wall 1. But if you do kill him, you can get away with 4 or sometimes even 3 if you get lucky drops. But you could see that Ash had 16 LP remaining. That's something you want to pay attention to, because you want Ash to have 210 LP after Jellies 2. So because she had 16, that means that she needs 90 194 more LP, which is 97 Jellies. Yeah, here you can see the drops: 84 water magicite, 52 yellow liquids. 52 yellow liquids from 4 rooms is very good. So that's very good gil from Jellies 1. So what you want to buy here is 3 golden amulets, 1 for each character, and you want to equip them. That's why you do the menu before you leave the Jellies, so that you can equip these golden amulets in the shop and not have to use the equipment menu. Because the equipping accessory, you can't optimize accessories, so it's a little bit annoying. You also want to buy the check boots, which give an immunity to immobilize, which will be important later. Then you want to buy Confuse, Decoy, and Blizzara. And then enough items, healing items. I usually buy 11 high potions. If you're new, I would buy a little bit more. So I bought by 11, which means I already had 4, so it took me to 5. I always have at least 3 high potions, so whenever I buy 11, it always ends up with at least 14. Now I had 1 extra, so it was 15 this time. I believe the 1 extra was stealing from Tiamat. But usually around 15 is what I have. And that's enough for me, but again, if you're new, I recommend buying a little bit more, like maybe 20 when you start, or even 25. But just note that if you're buying more, that means you're gonna need more gil from Jellies. And then I typically buy like 15 to 25 Phoenix Downs. Now I had a lot of money, so I went for a lot of Phoenix Downs. You can definitely buy less and buy some more later, but I like to buy all my Phoenix Downs here if I just have the money. But sometimes I don't have enough. I don't have any money, and I'm stuck with like 10 Phoenix Downs. But I recommend getting at least 20 if you're starting. If you're a new runner. As you can see, you can get a world record by buying up to 24 Phoenix Downs. So yeah, you can also kill that bat, and like if you want LP, in this run my LP is fine, so I'm doing it. But you can kill that bat, and you can kill there are mimics here. So what you would do is you would go to the mimics, activate the mimics. Ash and Penelo will use Fyra on them. They don't necessarily die, but at least the bat that follows you here should die. But that's something you can do for LP if you want to. Same thing here in this room. There are like 5 bats around here, so you can run to like around here, let go of Flea, and have Ash and Penelo kill the bats. Or LP if you want to, but again my LP is fine, so I don't want to. But if I were to do one room less, then I probably would have done that. And then Jellies 2 is exactly the same as Jellies 1, except that it's longer. This time, the goal is not for yellow liquids, it's to have 61.5 thousand gil at least. You maybe want to go a little bit more if you're a new runner. You might want to go for more, but 61.5k is what I mark as having enough. And yeah, it is about 99 yellow liquids if you didn't have any extra money after Jellies 1. I believe I had like 8,000 gil or some. At least I had a few thousand gil. So I don't need quite 99 to be good. But yeah. And same thing, stagger the casts of Penelo and Ash. And there's like Phantasmal Gaze. So let me go back and see which Jelly casted it. Where does that come from? Which Jelly used the Phantasmal Gaze? I can't tell. I think it's this one. So this Jelly is casting Phantasmal Gaze. Or no, that Jelly is attacking. It's probably one of the Jellies that died. But let's say it was this Jelly. So Phantasmal Gaze has a cone type AoE, and it hits everything that's in front of it. So it would hit like all party members around this area. That's approximation. I don't actually know what the radius is, but it's about this type of shape. The area where it hits. So and that's why you want to have everyone away. And Phantasmal Gaze causes confusion, which is why Bosch has the Smelling Salts Gambit. And especially Larsa. If Larsa gets confused, it's really annoying, because then Larsa is not healing, and Larsa deals a lot of damage with his sword. So it gets really annoying. So also, when Bosch gets confused, because Bosch is the one throwing the Phantasmal Gazes, that's also annoying. And also the casters are getting confused is annoying, because then they tend to die or and they are not killing the Jellies, so the Jellies are, there are a lot of Jellies hitting you if they don't get the kills off. But yeah, it's annoying when Bosch gets confused, but luckily Bosch got hit there. And there was another late chain level. But this time I actually got the chain level, so after getting the chain level, it's good to pick up the drops in the first room. So there's at least a Phantasmal Gaze, and because both Bosch and Larsa and maybe Ash, I'm not sure if Ash is on the radius, but we'll see. Luckily Confused or Phantasmal Gaze can miss, as we can see here. And no one got actually hit by that, so that's nice. And because I had the chain level in the first room, I'm already picking up drops, even though it's still chain level 3. Because all the drops I picked up in the first room count against the chain level. So I have to wait for the flashing number. Like, I'll point the flashing number out. But, yeah. Here was one case of a dino block. And also, there's something I want to show you here. Bosch is getting a lot of damage, and he would definitely die on the way back. So what I do is right before this screen transition, before when let go of Flea and have Larsa throw an explosion on you. That time Larsa was way behind though, so he couldn't throw, so I just waited here. If you want to play it safe, you can always just throw the potions here in this room, but it's a little bit faster to do it in the at the end of the previous room. You can also heal if you really need to. You can let go of Flea and immediately start fleeing again, and Larsa will throw an high potion at you. But you have to start fleeing immediately, because otherwise Ash and Penelo, their gambits will activate and they might kill some bats, and killing bats would be really bad because you need to keep your chain up to get more drops. So again, Larsa staying behind, which is nice. Penelo is poisoned, which would actually which would worry me a lot, because poisoned Penelo takes 2 more damage anyway. And here's the flashing numbers. Flashing numbers, what it does, it negates all drops you have picked up that count against so that they don't count against your chain level. So basically what it means is, after you have killed enough of Jellies and you get a flashing killed enough of Jellies from your last chain level and you get the flashing numbers, you are going to get the chain level. And by enough I mean at least 10. You can get it before 10 too, but that's not guaranteed. But yeah, so Lars's job is to heal. Bosch deals, Ash and Penelo use Fyra. As you can see, Penelo's MP is full, and Ash's MP is low. And yeah, Ash's MP is a problem, it always is, but it's fine. One thing I actually failed to talk about last time was flame staves. If you don't get 2 flame staves from Dustia 1, you can buy you can buy 1 or 2 flame staves from Chahara if you have the money. You need to get at least 1 flame staff before Jelly farming, so if you don't have a flame staff, you need to buy 1 in Chahara. But other thing is that if you are missing the 2nd flame staff, what you can do is you can run to Mount Boromise and buy the flame staff either before Jellies 1 or Jellies 2. Also, one thing is when you are confused, you can use Ash to attack Bosch if Bosch is confused, to get rid of the confusion. That's something I do fairly often, especially if Bosch keeps not hitting himself and all Jellies start dying. And Ash doesn't have enough MP to cast Fyra. Depending on those factors, I decide whether I do that or not. And there, let me go back. There you can see, or you could see, there we go. You can see Bosch is at 150 HP, and the dino is right there. So I stop for a second and let the dino hit me, and that's because that way Bosch's HP will drop to below 10%. And then means Larsa will throw an X potion on Bosch instead of a high potion. So that's why I did that. And I count my yellow liquids, I keep track of them, but if you don't, like, especially at first, you might have trouble trying to do that. Just don't worry about it, you can always go to your inventory to check how many you have. But I don't want to waste that time, but it's not too much, it doesn't take too much time to check. And usually when you farm Jellies, you want your cursor to be on Phoenix Downs so that you're prepared to revive any characters that might die. This Jellies was really good, and I had no one dying during the whole Jellies. But that's typically not the case. So you have to be ready to revive people as they drop. Especially at the start, at the beginning of the room, at the beginnings of the room, and when your chain is not high enough. Then after Jellies, you want to turn everyone's gambits off and then teleport back to Aruit Village. And then leave for Mount Boromisei. So this is the route you would take to Mount Boromisei if you needed the flame staff. It's the same route, you just would do it earlier. But yeah, you can do Jellies 1 with only one flame staff if you don't have enough money to buy the second flame staff. In that case, you would just give it to Penelo and have Penelo be the only caster, and you can have Ash using cures or just not do anything if you want to. But yeah, I didn't talk about the last drop of Jellies, which is float modes. There are 6 uses for float modes in this run, but and I had 13, so that's way more than you need. You also want to set your time magic cursor on Immobilize, black magic cursor on Ash's Blizzara. I guess it doesn't matter really which one you use, but you want to set those, and then you want to have the cursor on float modes. If you run here before Jellies, then you will not have any float modes, and it will be a little bit dangerous, but that's fine. But yeah, what float modes do it casts float, and float allows you to move past traps without getting hit by them. And it also makes any earth elemental attacks miss. But if you have enough float modes, you want to use one here. So there are 6 uses for float modes. If you don't have that many float modes, that's fine. But I will now go through the uses for float modes. So your first float mode should go towards Hashmal. Hashmal has a move called Roxora, and you really want to not get hit by that. And also Quakejaw if he ever gets that off. So that's the first use. Second use is the room after Ahriman. There are a lot of drops in the room, or a lot of traps in the room after Ahriman. But if you know where they are, you can skip this one, but I would recommend always having that as your second float mode. Third float mode usage would be here. Actually, I would maybe argue that using it in Great Crystal is more important than using it here, because these traps are fairly easy to avoid. But either way, it's preference where you would use the third one, here or Great Crystal, and whichever was it, the other one would be fourth. Then 5th and 6th uses are really optional. One is in Feywood and one is in Pharos. I will explain them later. And that's very annoying that Bosch got hit by Blaster and that made him go in sleep. And then no one hit Bosch, so Bosch just fell asleep. And Bosch has the shielded armor. I guess I haven't talked about shielded armor yet, but shielded armor is the best piece of armor at the time when you buy it, and it has the added status of protect in it. So whenever you have it on, you are under the protect status, so you take even less damage. So it's really good at this point of the game. And the girls' armor has nowhere near their armor. These enemies here hit very hard. Like, I think at this they can't one-shot Ash from full HP, but I think they might have been able to one-shot Ash with the ram at this HP. Might have been a damage roll. Also, here's a golem that hits hard sometimes, but he was not there this time. But yeah, that's one of the more dangerous screens of the game, but fortunately it's pretty short, and I don't think anyone's ever died there. But still, those guys can deal a lot of damage, even on Bosch. Anyway, I want to point out that in that corner, where this is your Jedi, that the Jedi's back is facing, there can be a chest that can contain an ice shield. If you get the ice shield, it's a pretty nice piece of equipment. It halves ice damage, and one of the next bosses is gonna be using ice magic, so that's pretty nice. And it also sells for 1250 gil. And Bosch happens to have the license for it anyway, so you can just equip it on Bosch if you get it. And there can spawn a chest that can contain a glacial staff or a phoenix down. I think the first one the ice shield chest can also have a phoenix down. That chest, well, you're gonna need to buy glacial staves soon, and glacial staff, getting it from the chest would save you 2400 gil. So there are a couple of cutscene skips here. This one's very easy to forget that there's the second one, but there are two. Yeah, usually you would run through this whole section with Bosch, but because Bosch got put to sleep, that's not the case this time. It's a little bit risky to run with Ash, but it's fine. It worked out okay. I got really lucky in the favor that the Deadly Night Shades did not do anything to Ash. So here, there's a shop here. You have to wait for it to load before accessing it though. And this is the shop where you would buy the flame staves from. If you had to run to Mount Boromir early for flame staff, you would run here, use this shop, and there's a teleport crystal right next to this one, so you could teleport to the Henne Mines from there. And then after Jellies 2, you would teleport back here to continue. So it doesn't waste that much time. So you want to sell your jelly loot. I had 99 water magicite and 69 yellow liquids. 69 yellow liquids is usually not enough, but because I had 9.8k remaining, or 9.8k extra gil, it was enough. Well, it's not enough, but where I am, I want to save all the time I can, so I left a little bit early, so at this point I'm a little bit behind on gil, counting on a couple of lucky chests, but I will point all the chests that are relevant on my way. Also, teleport stones. You're only gonna need about 5 teleport stones after this point, so I usually buy, like, if I have 18, I buy I sell 11 teleport stones for 1,000 extra gil. So that left me with 7, which is more than enough. And then 99 water magicite and the 69 yellow liquid brings me to 55.4k. So I said 61.5, so this is 6,000 gil less than what I would like. But I hardly ever get there. But as for new runners, I would suggest always going for the 61.5k, because that way, first of all, you don't have to worry about gil. Second, all the extra gil you get will go towards X potions, which will help you later, and which will make you have to not worry about them. And third is, you could use the extra LP and extra XP to make sure you get to the higher levels. To get high enough levels. Then you want to buy 2 mages hats and a headband. So now there is a choice of buying a headband here and buying a pirate hat later. Pirate hat is better, but headband is accessible now, which means that it helps against the next 3 bosses and in the next dungeon. I used to go for a long time. I used to go for the pirate hat, but now recently I've realized that headband is more useful than I gave it credit to. Also, getting this headband now means that I was able to sell the bronze helm later or earlier. If you don't go with headband and decided to go with pirate hat instead, you can't sell the bronze helm, but you have to keep it for Bosch, so Bosch has some kind of magic resistance in the next dungeon. Well, I'm not sure if you have to, but it would be a really good idea. But yeah, then you just run. You run to the temple. There's nothing really interesting on the way. There was a cutscene skip before this screen. But that's about it. And here's 3 cutscene skips, and in one of them, in the last one, so here, the 7-second rule does not work. But this one is pretty, well, as you can see, I messed it up there. But you can, there is an audio cue, like the music starts playing, and that's when it's safe for you to start mashing. But at least for me, I start hearing sounds like a little bit earlier. Like I feel like I'm imagining it, but it happens every time. Like there's some sort of voice before. It's not the song yet, but there's some kind of audio that makes me annoyed. But anyway, here's the menu. So you want to make your party Ash, Fran, and Penelope, so that Ash is the party leader. So typically Bosch would be the party leader right now. So what you would do is you remove Bosch first and then put Fran into the party. But here, because Bosch was not my party leader, I was just able to do it the other way and save an input. Like the other way, you can just go up and remove Bosch and insert Fran, but that's one more input than putting Fran first. But yeah, whatever. You want to have Ash as the party leader. Then licenses. So here, let me go back to show you the LP. So here, the LP requirements. Ash needs 210 LP, as I said earlier. But if you're a new runner, I would suggest of getting at least 220. But I have that too. Penelope needs at least 190 LP to complete this menu, but you would want her to have at least 210 if you're a new runner. Maybe. Usually, maybe 190 is enough in all cases, but it's not what you want. You want her to have 210 at least, but 190 is more. 190 is the minimum for this menu. You can do with even less. With Penelope if Penelope has less than 190 LP, it's okay, but you have to pay attention. You have to know that you have it in this menu because there's a license that you license in this menu. Well, I'll just show it to you in the menu. So first off, you start with Bosch and switch immediately to Ash. Bosch starts here, so it's very close to where Ash is. You can also start with Ash. Ash is also there, but getting to Ash is 2 inputs, and getting to Bosch is 1 input, so it's easier to get to Bosch and then switch to Ash. It's the same amount of inputs, but you can switch the party while you are moving the cursor, which is why going to Bosch is faster. Anyway, you want to go left here, so this is Time Magic 2, which is Reflect, so Ash will finally get the Reflect Gambit, or license. Then you get Time Magic 3, which is nothing we use, it's just on the way to the Arcane Magic 3, which is Decoy. And Decoy is very useful, we'll use it at the next boss for the first time. Then switching to Balthier. Balthier gets Green Magic 1, Green Magic 2, and Green Magic 3. Green Magic 1 is Protect, that's hardly necessary. It's not necessary for Balthier, but because it's on the way, why not? And Green Magic 3 is Sleep. Which Balthier will need a lot later, but since the cursor is around here, might as well get it now, since he has the LP. And here, then you switch to Penelope. Penelope will get Aether Lore 1, Magic Lore 40, White Magic 5, and now this is the license you would skip. It's Green Magic 4, it's Oil. White Magic 5 was Dispel. Green Magic 4 is Oil. You don't need either at the next boss. So if Penelope does not have the 190 LP, skip this Green Magic 4 license and license it after the next boss. So that's the thing to do. Then you switch to Bosch. Bosch needs to get Gambit slot 15. Potion Lore 1. Potion Lords are pretty good for Bosch because he will be throwing a lot of potions. Gambit slots are just on the way, and Shield Block doesn't do anything unless you have the Ice Shield or the Ensanguined Shield. Way later. Bosch gets Traveler, so you don't have to take out Balthier to use the Traveler anymore. Remedy Lore 1, which is nice because Bosch could use... in the next dungeon there's an enemy that can sap you. So Remedy Lore 1 means that you can heal that with remedies if you happen to have them. But you can't buy remedies by this point, so you would have had to save one from the early game chests, which you usually want to sell for money. So typically you would not have that. Phoenix Lore 1 is important, because that makes Bosch's Phoenix Downs heal for more, and it's actually a bad thing. So generally you want to hit Phoenix down with someone else than Bosch, although typically it doesn't matter, but it might matter in some cases. Just keep that in the back of your mind, but usually it's like 99% of the time it's just fine to Phoenix down with Bosch, even though he has the lore. Potion Lore 2, again, more potions, or potions heal for more. Spellbound is very important for Bosch. It makes buffs last longer, So Bosch's decoy and reflect will last longer, which is very important for the next area. Then finally get some armor. So Ash gets Mystic Armor 2 and 3, which just happened to be on the way. And Penelo gets Mystic Armor 3, which also happens to be on the way. Mystic Armor 5 has the Mage's Hat, which is the goal. And there's also Mystic, and you get that for both of the girls. And eventually we will get Sorcerer's Habits, and that's this license. And because Penelo had 30 LP left over, I'm also getting that license here. This license is in no way necessary to get at this point, but it's faster to get now than it would be to get later. So if you have the LP for it, then go for it. But only if Penelo has the LP for it. And it's 30 LP, so if Penelo has at least 30 LP after getting the previous license, then get this license as well. Then Bosch gets the Shields 4, which is on the way to... Or sorry, Bosch gets the Light Armor 6. Bosch does not get the Shields 4 yet. Light Armor 6 is the Headsman. Also here, after the Spellbound, if you had the Golden Amulet, you can probably be able, or if you did a lot of extra Jellies, you can afford this license as well, which is Potion Lore 3. Bosch needs to have at least 100 LP left after Spellbound to be able to get this license and the Light Armor 6. So if Bosch has 100 LP after the Spellbound, get this license as well. That will make High Potions heal for 600 instead of 500. So that's something. And then also, then last but not least, Fran gets 2 Quickenings over here and over here. Get this one first, because from here you can get fast to this license. And it's convenient that, the Light Armor 6, or sorry, Light Armor 6, hold on, which one it is? Yeah, Light Armor 6 is here. You can get, by going directly, diagonally from the Mystic Armor 6 to Light Armor 6, and then you can go diagonally directly to this license as well. But yeah, Fran gets the Quickening, and then she gets the other Quickening. This license is less LP than this one, so that's why we go this way. And then here, you want to optimize Penelo and Ash and Bosch, so they can all get their new helmets. And then you want to equip the Dawn Shard on Bosch. But also, in this screen, you can see the experience, how far it is to get to the next level. And you can see, and in my menus, or sorry, in my notes, I actually have, hold on, let me show you. So here, I have Penelo XP, Ash XP, and Bosch XP. So after I do this menu, I usually open my stream and I clip this menu so I can type the numbers in my menu in my notes. That's not necessary, but I have a table further in my notes. Hold on. Here. And that will tell me how many pumpkin heads I need to reach level 26. Level 26 after killing the first Rook. Level 26 after killing Sid 1. Level 26 after Chimera. Or level 28 after Brain Pants. But yeah, that's just a little thing I do. It's not necessary, but if you are a new runner, I would suggest I would suggest going for level 26 anyway, so that you have so that you will always be level 26, because 26 is it makes the damage rolls a little less. So it makes a couple of damage rolls a little less likely to be bad. But yeah, what I do is I make a Twitch clip, and I check that on my way to Mount Boromisei to get the exact values, because this menu is really fast if you're fast, so it's really hard to see those numbers live. But yeah, you optimize the mage's hats for both Ash and Penelo, and then for Bosch, and you can see, as you can see, it's 3,300, and it was like 2.8 for Ash and Penelo, and actually, let's go back to and actually add those numbers. Oh, oops. So now the table looks like this. I need 8 pumpkin heads to get Penelo and Ash to level 26, and Bosch to I need 10 for Bosch. I will get back to this table later. But just this is just something I have. I will come back to this later, but yeah. But that's how that works. And then you equip the Dawn Shard on Bosch. That is extremely important, and I will explain why in the next part. And that is the menu, and that's the end of this part. So I'll see you in the next part.